Welcome back everyone to CruiseAway, your holiday haven here on Gecko. Wonderful to have your company as ever. Now it's time to go cruising again around the world with Carnival in this show, and we're showcasing the incredible Luminosa, who joined the Carnival fleet of fun ships in 2022. All the fun for the whole family that you've come to know and love in a bigger ship experience that you'll be sure to absolutely adore. And this time we're looking at 3 exciting Dream Away packages. We have Brisbane to the Bay, cruising Luminosa from Oz to Fiji, Tahiti and Honolulu, ending with a stay in San Francisco. And if you're looking for something sooner, we have a stunning 28-night cruise from Brisbane through Japan to Alaska with a stay in Seattle on the way, and that will come up in April. And we start with that same tantalizing combination for a 23-night trip for September in 2026. So a long way off, but we're taking you from San Francisco to the temples of Tokyo, starting by flying you from Sydney over to the home of the Golden Gate Bridge. Wonderful San Francisco for a 2-night hotel stay. So let's go and see San Francisco then, shall we? Beautiful, beautiful city, very hilly as you can see, which is why they have those wonderful streetcars on some of the steepest streets in the world. But on those streets, so many fantastic things to see. Wonderful dining, wonderful restaurant, brilliant culture there. Of course, you've got the famous Golden Gate Bridge, which you can travel upon and take lots and lots of pictures. You've also got Alcatraz Island, of course, which you can go and visit, and they let you out as well. Brilliant shopping. Union Square looks pretty good there, doesn't it? And a great atmosphere in the city. Well, you're there for 2 nights in a hotel, and then the rest of your holiday, 19 nights of cruising, is on board Carnival Luminosa. Now, lots and lots of you are familiar with Carnival and just what a brilliant cruise line they are. Fabulous for everyone. If it's just you as a couple, if it's a group of friends going, if it's the whole family, fantastic. There's always going to be a party going on. It is fun, fun, fun to the max. And if you have loved and do love cruising on Carnival Splendor, for instance, well, Carnival Luminosa is like turning a new page because it's bigger and bolder and brighter with all the essential Carnival ingredients. And I've been cruising with Carnival, and I love the fact that there was this buzz in the air the whole time. Everyone had smiles on their faces. There was music everywhere you went, which I loved. But I also love the fact that with Carnival, every time you move to a different space on the ship, it looks different, it feels different. There are places like that you just saw there where you can completely and utterly escape, like your little quiet haven, your little peaceful corner. And then up on the top deck, up on the pool decks, the most brilliant things happen, and they happen out of the blue as well. Just out of the blue, there can be a big conga party going on. A big block of ice will be wheeled out onto the deck, and it will be carved into something spectacular. There's just so many different things going on. You're going to love the food as well. You know, if you've cruised with Carnival before, it's an American cruise line, so it's really great for foodies. You've got brilliant main dining and buffet dining, which comes at you left, right and centre. And if you only did that for the whole of your cruise, you would have been fed incredibly well, let me tell you. I had to check, and I had to know that there is a Guy's Burger joint on board as well. Not only is Guy's Burger joint on board, but he also has a specialty pig and anchor smokehouse as well. And that does all the American favourites like brisket and baby back ribs and salmon and dry rub chicken and things like that. I mean, there's lots and lots of different choices. The entertainment we've been seeing as we've been going through the video here, fantastic live game shows, big production shows in the theatre. There's a punchline, a comedy as well. There's live music. There's sing-along in some bars as well, which is great. And they have a piano bar too, and they are brilliant for just everyone sitting around and joining in. So honestly, if your cruise went nowhere, you'd have the most fabulous time. You really would. The fact that we're going to destinations is just a big, big bonus. Now, remember, we are cruising out of San Francisco. We've just had our couple of nights in a hotel there, and our first 2 days on this cruise are at sea, which is brilliant to get to know the ship. And then we're in Alaska, into Alaska's first city, Ketchikan, famous, of course, being the salmon capital. Take a walk down Creek Street, go and do the shopping there as well. Maybe take a seaplane tour over wonderful Alaska and Ketchikan. Then we go through the icy Strait Point, which is a great area for whale watching. It's very serene. It's got the most beautiful scenery, and you can take lots of wildlife tours there as well. Then we cruise the Hubbard Glacier. The Hubbard Glacier is more than 6 miles wide where it meets the ocean. This is where at places it gets up to 400 feet tall, and icebergs can be 3 to 4 stories in height. Hope you see those carving as well. It's fantastic. 6 days at sea. We're off from Alaska to Japan, arriving first in Sapporo, which is the port for Otaru, described as a portrait frozen in time. Very scenic along the west coast of Hokkaido in Japan. Next we head into Aomori, which is on northern Honshu Island in Japan. There's a wonderful museum here which shows you some of the floats from the famous Lantern Festival that happens here in the summer. In fact, it would have just happened when you are passing through. A day at sea, and we're in Shimizu next. Now this is the gateway port for trips to Mount Fuji. You can actually see Mount Fuji from the port as well, given that it's the right kind of weather conditions, and I would urge you to go there. You can take a cable car and go up there as well. Next we're into Kobe, again a beautiful port, lots going on here. It's a brilliant Chinatown here actually, with lots of food, lots of stalls there selling local arts and crafts too. A day at sea, we disembark in Yokohama and then we travel up to Tokyo for a 2-night hotel stay there before we fly back. Well, Tokyo has got to be seen. I'm so glad you've got 2 nights here as well, because it means that you can do old and new. You can head into the very historic Asakusa district for the temples and the incredible shopping there. You can head up the Tokyo Sky Tree, which is the tallest tower with brilliant views around the city. I would get a bullet train journey in just for fun if you can as well. And after your 2 nights in Tokyo, we then fly you back to Sydney, which is amazing. Of course, if you wanted longer in Tokyo or indeed in San Francisco, we can always make that happen. But to give you a price, we have to put some parameters in place. But this is a lovely package as it is. Out to San Francisco, couple of nights there. Wonderful cruise which does Alaska and Japan in one, which I think is just amazing. You never really relate the two because they are so far away. Of course, you've got that big bunch of sea days in between Alaska and Japan, but that's brilliant because remember what we were talking about, life on board Carnival Luminosa is so full, is so rich, it can be so packed of things to do, or can be completely and utterly horizontal and relaxed if you want to. But don't you think this is a really fantastic trip if you're a culture vulture? This is going to be brilliant, and it comes up for you in September in 2026, and you do it with the biggest cruise company in the world as well, mixing discovery with fun on board in our wonderful Dreamaway package. So your flight to San Francisco, 2 nights in a hotel there, and then you have got your amazing cruising of 19 nights on Carnival Luminosa, enjoying fun all the way, cruising to Alaska and then across to incredible ports in Japan, ending in Tokyo, 2-night hotel stay there covered, and your flight back to Sydney. Guess the price. This is a great thing to do on these CruiseAway shows, by the way. Guess how many dollars you think this package will be. It's a bit like The Price is Right. Well, let's see if you were right. Let's roll the numbers and have a little look, because I think you'll be quite surprised, because you're traveling from here in Oz over to San Francisco to stay there, to then cruise Alaska and Japan, then stay in Tokyo and then fly back to Oz for under $5,000 each. It's ridiculous, and you know you've got a trusted cruise name there as well. It is the biggest cruise company on earth. There are no bigger. Here's the details if you want to upgrade on the cruise. The cruise, remember, is 19 of those fabulous 23 nights. It is just a brilliant holiday and you are going to love it. And I tell you what, if you are taking the family with you as well, take multiple generations of the family. You know, take everybody with you. It's brilliant. The kids are going to love it because, you know, they're going to fascinating places that only you read about. I mean, you remember reading about Alaska, or reading about Japan, or you see documentaries about Japan, on the TV or wildlife shows about Alaska. Well, now you get to see it up close and personal as part of the most incredible holiday, and you spend time in San Francisco and you spend time in Tokyo as well. I think you come back from that trip thinking, wow, I'm well traveled, and that was just one holiday. We can put so many holidays together. Again, to that package, if you want to add more nights in San Francisco or Tokyo, or maybe you want to do something else on the way back from Tokyo, just let us know. Speak to us now, toll free, remember, 1300 411 954. And if you like the sound of these Dream Away packages, there are hundreds on our website right now waiting for you to view at cruiseaway.com.au. We are here with you every day on Gecko at 10 o'clock in the morning and then 1 and 4 in the afternoon, 3 shows a day, and we're making more shows than ever right now to give you the biggest variety. But in this show, we are cruising with Carnival on Carnival Luminosa. So let's get her back on board in just a second as we go Brisbane to the Bay. 25 nights. This is brilliant. This is taking us out from Oz out to the South Pacific, which we're very familiar with, and then on to Hawaii, and then rounding things off with a stay in San Francisco. This is for the 2nd of April in 2026, and we're getting on board Luminosa right here in Brisbane, which is great. 22 nights of cruising coming up, and let's talk about life on Carnival. Honestly, it's so good. You feel like the holiday never has any low spots. It never has any time where you're thinking, what should we do now then? We've had lunch, but it's not dinner time yet. What shall we do? You have hundreds, and I do mean hundreds and hundreds of different choices all of the way through your day. It's great in the evening, by the way. Let's just talk the evening for a second, because, you know, what happens in the evening is not just eating and seeing a show. There's lots more to do. They do something called dive-in movies on the top deck. Lots of cruise ships do this now as well, and it's so fun on Carnival. So you're up there on the pool deck in front of the big screen. You're on a sun lounger. You've got a blanket over you, you've got some popcorn in one hand, you've got a glass of your favourite, whatever it may be, in the other, and you're watching a big film or a sporting event or a music concert or whatever it might be on the big screen there. It's the most surreal experience doing it on top of a cruise ship. You'll have real pinch me moments when you look up, and if it's a clear night, you can see the stars, and there you are, floating around on this gorgeous, gorgeous cruise ship, which is your wonderful home. Of course, the staterooms, your cabins, are phenomenal on Carnival. Everything you need is there. But to be honest, the ship itself is so exciting. Carnival ships are so exciting. You're just doing the whole time. And listen, if a party and dancing on the deck isn't your thing, don't worry, because there are nice, quiet places where you can completely and utterly escape to and just have some real quiet time. It's fantastic. They have an area up on the top deck as well, by the way, where you can lounge in comfort and silence. It's called Serenity. It's adults only, and it's a space with massive lounges and cabanas where you can just go and disappear. Just go and disappear, and it's nice and quiet. You can listen to your own music, or you can just listen to your own thoughts, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the peace and quiet. You can see the kids have got so many things that they can be doing. It's not just the activities and the ropes courses and everything going on the top deck. It's the Camp Carnival, which is the kids club, when they have lots and lots of different kids clubs as well, which are age appropriate. It's great. Really, really good. I mean, it's everything you want a holiday to be, plus so much more. And then, of course, we've got the travel as well. And I love the fact that this is a bit of a longer cruise as well. We're catching it here in Brisbane, which is brilliant. Our first 3 days are at sea, which is even better, so you can really get to know the ship and what you love about it. And then let's start cruising to places like Suva in Fiji, Thurston Gardens here with the botanical gardens, just absolutely beautiful. Also, you've got the Fiji Museum there as well, with lots and lots of different sites. 4 days at sea, we're across to French Polynesia, to Papeete in Tahiti. Now, the Phu Phi botanic gardens here are a real draw, and you can watch the ship traffic in the harbour as well. It's a very busy port, this one, or you can take a trolley train through the city. Next, we're in Moorea in French Polynesia. This, of course, is the fictional island from the musical South Pacific, and you can see from the pictures there some of the different experiences that you can have. Of course, Carnival will have lots of excursions that you can book up and treat yourselves to. 5 days at sea, we're now across to Honolulu in Hawaii. How amazing, the state capital, the only big city here. Of course, Waikiki Beach and Diamond Head are there. Pearl Harbor is there as well. And there's the Iolani Palace, which is the royal residence there as well. 5 days at sea, and we are in San Francisco once again. We are rounding off this holiday by saying goodbye to Carnival Luminosa for now, and then we're staying here in San Francisco for a 2-night hotel stay. Now, make sure you get down to the Mission District, and that's the arty district down in San Francisco. Lots of murals and street art and quirky shopping going on there. There's also the Palace of Fine Arts as well, where you can just enjoy the wonderful, peaceful surroundings. I love the look of San Francisco as well. Not somewhere I knew an awful lot about before we started featuring it on the shows for stays. I mean, I'd seen the old series a long time ago, The Streets of San Francisco, but I'd never really thought about it as a place to go and see and visit. But oh my word, there's so much there, and you are going to love it. You've got 2 nights in a hotel there before you then fly back to Sydney. Oh my word, I love the fact that this cruise is a little bit longer and there are more sea days, because honestly you want to treasure every one of those sea days. Do you know what a cruise is really good for as well? If you've got someone in your life that's a very, very hard worker, someone who finds it difficult to switch off and actually have a holiday. Now listen, I know you can buy Wi-Fi packages when you're on board and everything else, but people, when you're on a cruise, they expect that you're off the grid. So you'll find that even if you are connected to your Wi-Fi, your phone isn't pinging all the time, because people know that you're away, and people think when you're on a cruise they can't get hold of you. They can, but don't tell them. So it's a really, really good way of truly escaping if you're someone that finds it really difficult to switch off, because it's like another world. You forget all the cares and worries in the world, and you just have this wonderful time away from everything. So this for me is a pure paradise getaway. It's coming up in April in 2026. We can do a package like this much sooner for you as well, by the way, if you can't wait till then, so just call the team. But we're looking for this package for April 2026. Lock in a great price with us today. We cruise from Brisbane on Carnival Luminosa for 22 amazing nights, cruising out to the South Pacific, on to Hawaii, ending in San Francisco, staying there for 2 nights in a hotel before we fly back. Enjoy the best time on board, loads of incredible dining, entertainment, and the joy of cruising with Carnival as well. You will absolutely love that. Of course, we include, after your 2-night stay in San Francisco, your flight back to Brisbane. Brisbane? Sydney? Brisbane. Yes, Brisbane. That's where you started the cruise, wasn't it? Yes. Right, let's have a look at our price tag. Of course, if you are coming from Sydney, we can get you a national flight to Brisbane to get it started. No problem whatsoever. Hello. Look. Now, this is locking in a brilliant price right now. I know we're talking 2026. I know it's over a year away. But we're locking in a great price tag that could rise between now and when you go on the cruise. As I said before, if you need city flights from Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, wherever you are, to get yourself into Brisbane for the start of the cruise, of course, and back at the end, just let us know and we'll sort all of that out for you. 1300 411 954 is our toll-free number. Are you tempted? I mean, you'll love the ship, honestly. You will love it. Here's the details to upgrade for you as well. So if you want to upgrade, all our prices generally are based on an interior cabin, which you will spend next to no time in. It's wonderful. It's got everything you need, plenty of wardrobe space, wonderful private bathroom, fantastic comfortable bed, all the PowerPoints and stuff that you'll need. But if you do want to treat yourself to an ocean view balcony, or maybe even up to that suite, all the details are there. And any other questions, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call our team, 1300 411 954. It's lovely to have your company. My name's Derek, by the way, if we've never met before, we're here every day on Gecko, 3 times a day with CruiseAway shows, and we're just talking holidays. Next, we're off to Japan and Alaska. We're putting those two together now on a wilderness from Australia. 3rd of April 2025, so just a few months away for 30 nights all told. Back on Luminosa from Brisbane again on this one for a 28-night cruise. Now, if you love to keep the brain in gear, you will love being on board with Carnival, because they've always got trivia and quizzes and things that you can take part in. They have live game shows as well. It's fantastic, it really is. You go to one of the theatres and you can either kind of join in and be a contestant, or you can just sit in the audience and watch these live game shows. They have some brilliant prizes on them as well, and they are super, super exciting. It's not just one man sat at a desk reading questions out. It is really, truly interactive. And that's one of the things that you'll really notice on Carnival as well, because it is an American cruise line. The team on board have that happy, spirited, wonderful vibe about them, and that radiates out. It really does. It rubs off onto everyone. The atmosphere on board is just brilliant. And we were going back to talking about evenings earlier and just how varied they can be. And you'll find that that atmosphere carries through the whole cruise. And of course, the great thing about cruising is that you can dip in and out of all the things that are going on as much or as little as you like. So if you've had a busy day in port, for instance, and you think, oh, actually, I'm not going to be out raving and misbehaving tonight. In fact, actually, we won't even go and see the show. In fact, I don't know if I can be bothered to get dressed up for dinner. That's fine, because remember, you can just go back to your cabin. You can order room service there. They've got movies and everything on the interactive TV in the cabin as well. So you can literally, if you normally do like a date night thing, you can do that as well. You've got specialty dining on board. Let me talk to you about some of those treats, specialty dining as well. They've got one called Chibang. A little extra cover charge for these specialty dining, but well worth it. And Chibang mixes Chinese and Mexican foods, which sounds really, really nice. You've got the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. That's always good for a special kind of more intimate, maybe, couples dinner. Some nice steaks and seafood and wonderful wine pairings there. Again, for the cover charge you pay for that specialty restaurant, nowhere near the kind of bill you would normally walk out of, especially these days, buying big, juicy American steaks as well, because they really know how to do their steaks on board Carnival. Here's a fun one as well. If you've got the whole family with you, bonsai teppanyaki, book yourself up a table for that, because that really is great fun. It's almost like a theatre show and feeding at the same time. It's great, where the chefs sort of throw the prawns in the air and everything else, and you have to try and catch them. It's a really good meal as well, actually. So let's take our cruise out of Brisbane. 28 nights, first 8 nights at sea. We're across into Japan, into Naha, which is the capital city of Okinawa. Lots of cultural sites here. The wonderful castle here at Chirijo is beautiful. Day at sea, and we're in Hiroshima. You can visit the famous Carp Castle here and learn about the past of this area. And there's also wonderful gardens built in the 1600s, which will be well worth seeing. Day at sea, we're into Tokyo for the day. Take a city tour of the highlights if you can. You can do it all in a day. It's well worth seeing, and lots of exciting Carnival excursions will be on offer while you're here as well. It's a wonderful city. A day at sea, and we're in Hakodate. You can wander around Anuma National Park here, which is that wonderful picture. If you're a watercolor artist, you'd love to just sit and paint that picture, wouldn't you? Beautiful. It looks just stunning. Next, we cruise on to Otaru. Now, you can take a rickshaw tour here and pass by the famous canal and take pictures of the Asakusa Bridge with all the old warehouses that run down the canal. It's a fabulous marina there as well, because it's a big fishing place, Otaru. 7 days at sea, we're across to Alaska right now. So we've gone from Japan and we're across to Alaska, starting in Seaward in Anchorage, where you can take a plane tour over the Harding ice field, which will be just stunning. Day at sea, we're in Juneau. Now, Glacier Gardens is here, and you can see the unique botanical gardens here, and they're flower towers which are unique to this part of Alaska. Or again, you can take tours across the ice fields, which are just huge. Ketchikan is next here, the home of the totem pole, and you can take the Tongass trolley tour in an 1800s cable car here to a local native village and go and see the totems and the big rainbow falls as well. A day at sea, and we finish our cruise in Seattle in the States, but we're staying here for 2 nights in a hotel. Now you can take a city tour while you're here, see the incredible Pioneer Square and the Waterfall Garden Park. There's the central waterfront, which we're seeing right now. There's the famous Chihuly Glass Garden as well, and you can also head up to the Space Needle, which has the tower at the top where you can see the whole city from there. It's called the Emerald City because it's nice and green as well, and it looks phenomenal, and you're there for 2 nights in a hotel before we then fly you back to Oz. Oh my word, what an incredible holiday. Just look at that list of places there and just think, right, you started it right here in Brisbane and saw yourself all the way to Japan and all the way through the hot spots of Alaska, spent some time in Seattle as well, and then flew back. Now that is a 30 nights of holiday, which is well worth taking. So 2 dream destinations, 1 trip, sailing from Brisbane to Japan and Alaska, 28 nights on Carnival Luminosa, plus 2 nights in a Seattle hotel and your flight back to Australia. Okie dokie, let's have a little look at our price tag. That's amazing. These are dream trips, by the way. The reason why we're putting these in front of you right now is because we are locking in amazing price tags, because the price of travel is all over the place and it is rising as the price of everything is rising. But what we're doing is we're keeping you the right side of price rises that will inevitably happen, because we've put the whole thing together for you in one gorgeous package. One more thing to show you, which is the upgrades on the cruise part of this holiday, and remember that's the lion's share of this. It's 28 of the 30 nights you're on board Carnival Luminosa. So there are your prices. And when you look at your prices for upgrades, by the way, always take the additional price and divide it by the number of nights you're on the cruise, because then 1, you can talk yourself into it very, very easily, and 2, it just shows you, I mean, remember, when you go from inside to outside to balcony to suite, you are getting bigger staterooms as well. It's not just the addition of a window, it's not just the addition of the balcony, it is bigger staterooms as well. And of course, when you go up to suite, then it starts coming with other perks as well, which is wonderful. I mean, who doesn't want to say they're staying in a suite when they're on a holiday like this? It's incredible. Now listen, call us free 1300 411 954. Our team have over 25 years of experience. They're based right here in Oz as well. So any questions that you've got, and any tweaking to these packages that you want to make, no problem whatsoever. We can do that for you. We can tailor make a holiday that is just unique to you and your family. But we can put you together with all of the major cruise lines, with all of the destinations around the world, and make a really fantastic package with hotel stays and all the flights as well, all sorted in one neat package. So you don't have to do any of the booking or, you know, just do all of that searching and whatever. We've done it all for you. It's fantastic. It's what we do here at CruiseAway. So I hope you'll come back and see us again here on Gecko every day at 10 in the morning and 1 and 4 in the afternoon. See you again for some more sunshine soon. Take care.